let's go to the main slate and start with stacks. Which quarterbacks and stacks are you building around this week?
Well, I think we're both in alignment that Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk could be a good
Oh
buy
yeah.
low after another letdown game by Purdy and the Niners. So I like them to bounce back this week. The rostership could be a bit lower than normal. And then I'm going to go with the gross Patriots stack, double stack with the Patriots. Mac Jones, Kendrick Bourne, and Demario Douglas. The passing offense finally showed some signs of life last week. They might go back into their shell this week, but I'm going to stick with them here. And, Bourne and Douglas have really emerged as the top two wide receivers and pass catchers in this offense. And they're really cheap. Bourne's 4,700. I think Douglas is like 3,400, something like that. And this should be, a trailing pass heavy game script against the Dolphins. So I think this stack, might not be popular even after last week. So I think it's worth the flyer.
Yeah, definitely love the Purdy stack. I think he is too cheap, and I think this is a matchup where you look on both sides. I mean, you got the Bengals and the Niners. Both of these teams could put up points, so you're looking at the correlation of just potential shootout there in this one. And even though the total is like 46.5, still one of the higher totals of the week.
Yeah.
Unders have been crushing this year. Scoring is down. Like I said, teams are throwing underneath a little bit more. So, like this game to stack. I like Burrow. On the other side as well, he's just 6K on DraftKings, so like stacking him with Jamar Chase. Obviously, can also go some T Higgins. The tight end, we thought maybe Irv Smith was gonna fill that Hayden Hurst role. Well, hasn't happened.
Nope.
So I think the 49ers, you're still going to look out to target them on the outside. Diamador Lenore and Travarius Ward, who was playing really well, but didn't have such a great Monday night game. So I think those are going to be the two targets. Bengals coming off a bye. Burrow should be as healthy as he has been all season long, which is key because early in the year, he just couldn't really move, couldn't escape pressure, and that was really hurting him. So I think you're getting the discount here now with him kind of having a down year so far. He's at his lowest price of the season. So always like to buy low on guys like that when I see them bottom out in terms of price. And I also like CJ Stroud to Nico Collins here. I know you said you're a little down on Nico on the other pod in terms of the consensus, but I do think that if this game gets to a point where the Texans have to throw, and both teams coming off a bye, so the Carolina offense could look better. If you get to a point where both teams have to throw, I still think Nico is going to be the number one option for Stroud. So like him, he's still pretty affordable, 5,500 on DK. So like that one is kind of a contrarian play because the Panthers have been the worst run defense, but Stroud has been one of the best quarterbacks. So, and Nico's been one of the best receivers. Yeah. So a little bit of a contrarian play that's not really too contrarian. And also it's pretty affordable as well. So like Stroud to Nico.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I was a bit lower on his medium projection, but obviously Nico still has a high ceiling, so definitely in playing tournaments. And just betting against Stroud or Nico has been a losing proposition all season. So yeah, I can definitely get behind this. And coming off the bye, the rostership might be a bit low this week as well.
Yeah, and Tank Dell, he's a guy I would include as well. He comes off the concussion, he's only 4,900. Just have to make sure he's back from that concussion. All right. Who do you like for dart throws on the main slate?
So at running back, I mentioned him on our other pod, but Chuba Hubbard at 4,800 against the Texans. There's a chance he has become the Panthers' lead back. We don't really know, but they have hinted that they're open to making this more of a 50-50 committee. Miles Sanders hasn't been great at all this year. He's also banged up. He's been dealing with growing and shoulder injuries. I don't even know if he's right after their bye week. So there's a chance, Hubbard sees the majority of the workload here, and it's against the Texans. So love him with this cheap price tag too at 4,800. Wide receiver, I like Elijah Moore at 4,100. He's coming off his first game where he saw a 90% or greater routes run rate. It looks like they're phasing out Donovan Peoples-Jones. Moore is clearly, the number 2 target. Who the hell knows who's throwing him the ball this week, though? But he has 4 catches in back-to-back games. I see him as more of a high floor play now. So he might be sneaky in cash games specifically at 4,100 and then spend up elsewhere. But this could be a tougher matchup against the Seahawks. Like I said on Convince Me, I think Seattle's pass defense should be much better going forward with everyone healthy. But Moore should still see enough targets in this game to provide value at this cheap of a price, 4,100. And then another cheap receiver I love is Michael Gallup at 3,400 against the Rams. His Week 6 line was a bit poor. He got 3 catches for 24 yards, but he saw 10 targets. He saw 42% of the Cowboys' air yard share, which is the 18th highest of Week 6. So he could be due for like a breakout game coming soon. So he's definitely in play in GPPs at 3,400. And then there's a couple of great cheap tight ends this week with Trey McBride at 2,800. I mean, he's going to be the clear lead tight end for the Cardinals now with Zach Ertz on IR. So he's, obvious play at 2,800. I think an interesting pivot would be, Connor Hayward at 2,600. He's emerged as the Steelers lead tight end with Pat Freiermuth out. I thought like Washington, the rookie, could step up, but it's been Hayward who has been the better pass catching tight end. So he's still under the radar a bit. So he could be a good pivot from Trey McBride in GPPs.
Yeah, Hayward ran around on 96% of the dropbacks last week.
Yeah.
So he was out there pretty much every pass play. For me, I like Devin Singletary. He's 4,400 on DK, 5,400 on Fanduel, and him and Dameon Pierce had the same touches in the last game before the bye. And Singletary out-snapped Pierce 54% to 33%. So another situation where we might be seeing a changing of the guard. And, of course, that Panther defense ranked dead last in DVOA against the run. Cam Akers is 4,800 on DK, 5,200 on FanDuel. He saw 5 of the 7 running back touches in the fourth quarter, including the last 5, and was only outsnapped by 10 by Madison. So another spot where we could see a changing of the guard, and this is a good matchup against a bottom 8 run defense of the Packers. Demario Douglas, you kind of mentioned him with the Mac Jones stack. Love him. He's just 3,300 on DK, 5,200 on FanDuel, and he looks like the Patriots' best receiver. He jumped Devontae Parker in terms of routes, so he was their number 2 receiver last week, and I think they have no reason to stop giving this guy snaps, even if Juju comes back, because he's, again, been him and Kendrick Bourne have been their best 2 receivers by far. Brandon Powell, our guy, 3,200 on DK, 4,700 on FanDuel, had a nice 4-catch game in the Monday Nighter for 64 yards, and the week before that he caught 3 balls as well. So he's had at least 3 catches in each of the last 3 games, and he is their unquestioned number 3 receiver. And Kirk Cousins will look good even with Jefferson out of the lineup. So like Powell, and then at tight end there are a lot of options. I'll throw out David Njoku. He is 3,600 on DK, 5,100 on FanDuel, and facing a pretty good Seahawks defense at the corner position now. So I think you're going to start to see them funnel passes to the tight end. They're 26th in DVOA against tight ends, but they got Witherspoon and Reek Woolen and all those guys on the outside. So I think Njoku, he had 4 catches for 55 yards in the last game. I think he could continue to, and he almost got a touchdown. He just had it popped out of his hands down the stretch. And then another, I think the shovel pass was to him too. So he almost had 5 for 54 last week on 9 targets, and it could have been 6 catches plus a touchdown last week. Now you're going against one of the worst defenses against tight ends. So I think Njoku is an interesting dart throw as well.
Yeah, no, I love Douglas and Powell. There's like a handful of wide receivers that are like obvious plays under 4K. I think it's definitely going to be like a stars and scrubs kind of week with just how much value there is out there.
Yep. All right, let's go to DraftKings, and I'll start. I think you started last week.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'll go with Devin Singletary at 4,400.
Nice. I thought you were going to take Douglas here, so I'll take him.
I'll grab Alvin Kamara at 7,300 against the Colts.
All right, I'll go Trey McBride
Getting
2,800.
all the cheap guys.
I'm gonna have to spend some money at some point. So.
All right. Let's go Thielen. 6,600.
I'm gonna have to send you this funny TikTok video I saw about him. Yeah, that's a good pick. I'm surprised you haven't taken Dak yet. I'll go with Dak.
Yeah,
both really high at him.
Yeah,
6,100. That's too cheap for DK.
Let's go Christian Kirk. 5,900. Like him in this matchup again.
Yeah. Yeah, not that it matters anymore, but what's up with Zay Jones? Does he have a chance to return this week, or?
I think he does.
Yeah,
but Kirk is just playing really well. I don't think.
Oh yeah, no. Like I said, it has zero impact on Kirk anymore. But just curious because they did have like the mini bye week. Hopefully he can return soon. Damn, I'm gonna just get defense out of the way. You'll probably take somebody I didn't consider that's better, but I'll just go with the Jets. They're my top ranked defense right now against the Giants. They're 4K, so I think they're the best option right now. But my defensive projections are always the weakest this early in the week.
Yeah, I hear you.
And is Sauce and Reed expected back? I guess I should have checked that, but yeah, be. I would assume. Hopefully,
I'll just pay up for Lamar. Let's go. Let's go a little bit out there. Yeah,
worked right for you last week.
Yep.
I will go. Okay, I really have to start spending money now. There's too many running backs in the 6K range I like. I'm gonna go with. Let's go with DeAndre Swift.
Ooh, okay.
With Hurts's knee, not being good, he could get more usage, more checkdowns too. He's also lining up as a receiver, running deep routes last week, so could be in for a big game this week.
Give me the Seahawks D against Cleveland. No matter who starts at Cleveland, I like the Seahawks D. Like I like the corners. I think they're going to be a very kind of turnover. They're going to create a lot of turnovers and just wreak havoc. And they're starting to get sacks now. Last 3 games they have 18 sacks. So let's go Seahawks at home against the Browns at 3,400.
Yeah, Devin Witherspoon is a bad man. He's already just a stud.
Did like that see... Rick Woolen and Sauce are like the Reed and I mean, Rick Woolen and Witherspoon are like the Reed and Sauce. And it's crazy because Reed used to be on the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's crazy. Did you see the hit Witherspoon put on Rondale Moore?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Whew. I felt bad for Moore, but he got a touch the very next play. He was fine, thank God. I'm going with another running back. Again, the 6K range, there's so many good options. Damn. Okay. I'll go Breece Hall at 5,900 facing the Giants.
Ooh, that's a good one.
His workload's going up. They're already talking about trading Dalvin Cook away. So I think just Breece Hall going forward is going to be like top 10, potentially top 5 back. So good matchup against the Giants this week.
I'll go with George Kittle, 5,400.
Nice.
Bengals 27th in DVOA against tight ends. Still waiting for that monster game from Kittle. He had a pretty good game last week, but nothing crazy. 5 for 78. But I think he's going to continue to be involved. Debo's going to be at least one more game. So go Kittle there.
Let's see. I'm going to go. I have 7,200 left per player. I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk then at 7K.
All right. Give me some Chuba, 4,800 for my flex. 4,100 left for receiver.
I'm going to spend up at wide receiver. I'm going to go Jamar Chase at 8,100. Not scared of the 49ers matchup. They just gave up big games to Amari Cooper and Jordan Addison. So Chase should be just fine.
All right.
I have 6,500 left for my flex.
I have 4,100 left for a receiver. Do you take Elijah Moore already?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna take Yeah, give me some Elijah Moore here at 41. Use all my salary. What about how you gonna finish it off?
I'm probably leaving some cash on the table, but that's fine. Again, man, this 6K range, you have Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, uh, Joe Mixon, if that's your cup of tea. But I'm going with Isaiah Pacheco at
All right.
6,100 facing the Denver Broncos. So yeah, I really like the 6K range at running back this week.
All right. What's your lineup?
Okay, so I got Dak at quarterback. My running backs are DeAndre Swift and Brees Hall. At wide receiver, I went with Brandon Ayuk, Jamar Chase, Demario Douglas. Uh, Tight end, I went with Trey McBride. And then my flex, Isaiah Pacheco. And my defense, I went with the Jets going against the Giants.
I got Lamar at quarterback at 8,100 at Arizona. Running backs Singletary at Carolina at 4,400. Kamara at the Colts at 7,300. And it got a running back in the flex, Chuba Hubbard at 4,800 against Houston. Wide receivers Thielen 6,600 against the Texans. Christian Kirk 5,900 at Pittsburgh, and Elijah Moore 4,100 against the Seahawks. Kittle at tight end at 5,400 against Cincinnati, and the Seahawks D 3,400 against the Browns. All right, let's jump to FanDuel, and your go.
I'm going to stick with Isaiah Pacheco on FanDuel. He's 7,400 against Broncos.
I'll go Zay Flowers. He's only 6,500 on FanDuel. Love him against
Damn
Arizona.
it. Yeah, I should have grabbed him. He stuck out to me too. Damn it, that's who I was going with next. I think for FanDuel, I'll go with damn, Geno Smith is cheap. I'll go with Brock Purdy though for FanDuel.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good one. Let's go Hawkinson. 6,500. It's pretty decent price for him. 1,200 less than Andrews.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go. Which of these two guys do I want to take? I'll go with Drake London, 6,700. I feel like he's a better FanDuel play anyway, and he's definitely cheaper there. So give me London.
I'm gonna go with the Giants defense against Zach. 3,900. All the other defenses that are priced down on DK are priced up on FanDuel, so I'm gonna save a little bit with the Giants here. 3,900.
Jake Ferguson.
Okay.
Ferguson, before the bye, he had his season high in routes run rate, 84%. Only saw one target though. So hopefully everything comes together for him. He's actually seen like a higher target rate, better underlying usage than Dalton Schultz. So he very well could be like a top 10 tight end rest of the season, assuming, Hendershot doesn't mix in. But yeah, breakout big games coming from Ferguson.
All right. I'm gonna pay up at quarterback again and go with Lamar. Stacking with Zay here.
Nice. So I have 6,700 per player remaining. Give me AJ Brown at 8,700.
All right. Not worried about the Hurts injury.
No, if anything, maybe he'll throw more. Try to get him his record of consecutive games with 125 plus receiving yards against a very beatable Commanders defense.
All right. I'll go with Joe Mixon, 6,500. Too cheap for him.
Yeah,
even in a tough matchup.
Yep, I'm gonna go. I think ultra cheap at running back. I'm gonna take DeMercado at 5,600.
All
Just
right.
hope for the best. At least we have the volume with him.
Right. I'll take Garrett Wilson at 7,200.
All right, I'm gonna stick with the Jets defense at 4,400. It seems Andrew Thomas is due back this week, right? So the maybe the sack potential won't be as high, but still like him at 4,400 here.
All right. Got 68, 67 for running back, wide receiver, flex. I'll go Kirk again at wide receiver, 7K.
So I have 7,500 per player left over for wide receiver and flex. I'll go with a wide receiver here. Ayuk's still available?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take him again here, stacking him with Purdy, but again, he's probably too cheap on Fanduel as well. He's 7,700.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it should be a bounce back for him. Yeah, I'll take Saquon at 81. I know he hyperextended the elbow, but he came back in the game, so he should be good to go.
So I have 7,400 left over for my flex. I think I'm going running back. I will go Breece Hall at 7,200.
All right. I'll go. I have 5,500, so I'll go Devin Singletary 5,400. So I got Lamar at 8,800 at Arizona. Wait, have you? Yeah, you took your.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I got Lamar 8,800 at Arizona at quarterback, running back Mixon 6,500 at San Francisco, Barkley 8,100 against the Jets. And my flex is a running back, Singletary, 5,400 at Carolina. Receivers, Zay Flowers, 6,500 at Arizona. Garrett Wilson, 7,200 at the Giants. And Kirk, 7K at Pittsburgh. Tight end is Hawkinson, 6,500 at Green Bay. And got the Giants defense, 3,900 hosting the Jets.
I went with Brock Purdy at quarterback. My running backs are Isaiah Pacheco, Emery DeMarcado. My wide receivers are Drake London, AJ Brown, Brandon Ayuk. And then I went with Jake Ferguson at tight end. For my flex, I took Breece Hall. And I guess I stacked him with the Jets defense.
So we got opposing Giants stacks. I got Barkley.
Oh, love
Barkley it. Giants. You got
Hall. All right. Go Jets.
All right. All right. That is going to wrap it up for the Fantasy Flex Fantasy Preview episode for Week 8. For more fantasy content from Sean and I, be sure to check out our player projections episode right now at the Action Network podcast channel. We'll be back every Friday with the night shift where we break down the Sunday and Monday night DFS slates, actionnetwork.com for all of our NFL betting and fantasy content, fantasylabs.com for our DFS tools and models. Also, don't forget to join that Action Network Discord, link in the description of this episode. Sean's on X at @_oddsmaker. I'm at Chris Raybon. We're at those same handles on the free award-winning Action Network app. Until next time, let's get this shmoney.